Welcome back to 31 Days of Halloween, where every single day I'm watching a horror movie in a different category for every day of October. Today is day 2. Category is Stephen King adaptation, and the movie I picked was Doctor Sleep. So, Doctor Sleep is a 2019 movie directed by Mike Flanagan, uh, both an adaptation of this novel of the same name and a sequel to 1980's The Shining, which is directed by Stanley Kubrick, which is probably my favorite horror film of all time. So I've been hesitant to watch this movie for a long time because The Shining is my favorite horror movie of all time and one of my favorite movies in general. But I finally got around to it, and I have to say I think it was pretty good. Score is also very good; it's very reminiscent of the original, and that's the main thing about this that I go back and forth with. For the majority of the movie, it stands on its own two legs, and it makes small homages to the original, and it can stand on its own two legs and be its own story. And it was a pretty interesting story. But at a certain point in the movie, it kind of just turns into a Shining reference fest. Like the whole climax of the movie is basically a soft remake of The Shining. While I'm a big fan and it was fun to like go back to the Overlook and see all those iconic scenes played out again, at a certain point it gets old and it feels like they're really, really living on the legacy of the original rather than making something new. It definitely has more of a Stephen King feel than the original Shining did. It's less surreal and more mystical and fantastical, like most of Stephen King's works. The three main performances in this movie were really good. Ewan McGregor and Rebecca Ferguson are always good, but the standout of this movie to me was the young girl played by actress Kylie Curran. I thought she was great. She like kind of upstaged the other two, in my opinion, which is shocking for, I think she's supposed to be 15 in the movie. I don't know how old she was when this was filmed, but looking at her filmography, she didn't really do much after this. And that's shocking to me because she was great. She's one of the best young actresses I've seen in a while. Like for a kid performer to upstage to acting greats like that, that's pretty crazy. So overall, Doctor Sleep is really made for fans of Stephen King or fans of the original Shining. I feel like for most people, this would either be a little bit too slow or not scary enough. But I would still recommend giving it a try. I just don't think this would probably sit well with the average horror watcher unless you are a big fan of The Shining. But me personally, as I am a big fan of The Shining, I did enjoy the movie. I'm going to give it a 3.5 stars out of 5. Check back in tomorrow for day 3 of 31 Days of Halloween.